Hello, and welcome to the Built to Be Human podcast, brought to you by Intelligent Plants Apothecary. I'm your host and guide, Liam Gallagher. The episode today is built with plants. The reason why I decided to talk about this today is, first of all, I'm passionate about natural methods, and I've been fooling around as an herbalist for a good 30 years or so now at this point. And really, the reason why I continue to do it is, first of all, it works. But some of my mindset that went into this process in the beginning was pharmaceuticals are very strong. Most of them are manufactured in a laboratory. If they were ever derived from a natural product at all, they're not anymore. You cannot patent a natural constituent. If it occurs naturally and you haven't found a way to manufacture it yourself, you cannot patent that. So when you're dealing with pharmaceuticals, they're very strong. They're designed to treat symptoms. They are designed to alleviate something that you're feeling or something that you're going through. There's nothing in any of that that indicates that taking that pharmaceutical is also going to support your body, support you, and support your body's natural processes. As a matter of fact, most of them have side effects, and these side effects are literally other ailments that have been created by taking the medication. With herbs and plants, 99.9% of the time, this does not happen. The one exception would be if somebody has an allergy to something, then it can be detrimental. But aside from that, herbs actually have a full spectrum of nutrients in them. There's no nutrients in pharmaceuticals whatsoever. These nutrients are the raw materials your body requires to do the job it was designed to do. So if you are taking a medication, we'll use anxiety, because most people that I deal with at this point in my life, whether I'm dealing with them in a professional capacity or whether I'm just interacting with them as a human being, most people that I come across these days have some sort of anxiety issue. As a matter of fact, a whole bunch of them are on some sort of medication for it, some sort of pharmaceutical for it. And what I've noticed is a lot of these people on the pharmaceuticals, they may do a little better in ways than they did without the medication, but almost everybody that I know that is on medication and continues to take it have some sort of complaint about that medication, about how it makes them feel, how it seems to dampen their awareness or their ability to focus, or it disconnects them from themselves, something negative along those lines. And if I have some anxiety issue or some sort of depressive issue, why the hell would I want to be disconnected from myself? Why the hell would I want to shut down how I feel? Why wouldn't I go about altering my responses to things? Why would I not go about figuring out ways to feel safe, or whatever it is that's causing my anxiety? So when I use herbs, I'm giving my body the raw materials it needs to do its job. For example, using anxiety again, using oat straw and skullcap. Oat straw is the most nutritive herb to the nervous system, and skullcap tones the nervous system. So with herbs, you're not necessarily getting this powerful effect immediately that takes you out of the mindset that you're already in, which I guess at certain points I could see where that having access to being out of the mindset that you're in immediately might have some advantages. But that's more of a short-term thing. When we're talking long-term, medications long-term are really not a good idea. Plants are, because as you ingest the plants, I keep saying it, you're giving your body the raw materials it needs to function. So if I've got anxiety issues and they're long-term, and I'm in this heightened sense of alert state and really anxious all the time, I'm literally doing damage to my nervous system. If I'm taking a medication to alleviate the intensity of what I'm feeling, it may or may not actually alleviate the intensity of what I'm feeling, but it certainly is not going to do anything in terms of repairing the nervous system or helping my body, my physical body, to overcome the stress that I've put it through. With herbs, all of these things actually take place. You're feeding your body what it needs to cope with the stresses. I think things like adaptogens, things like ashwagandha, that they literally are designed to help our bodies and our minds and our energy to deal with trauma and upheaval. You know, medication doesn't do any of that. Um, Plants have been around since humans have been around. Actually, plants have been around longer than humans have been around. And as our species has evolved, like other animals on the planet, we have grown into a symbiotic relationship with the plants around us. I find it rather interesting that typically not far away from something like a poison ivy is typically something like jewelweed, which is an absolute remedy for the poison ivy. So again, when we deal with natural things and we're utilizing what's been put on the earth and not synthesizing it, we're actually benefiting ourselves way more than if we're just knocking something out for a short term. Um, will you be able to completely shut down your thoughts and completely and utterly change how you feel using an herb? Not really. There's a couple of them out there that will. Not necessarily the best idea to use those, but there are a couple out there that do. They're usually referred to as narcotics, things like opium, things like cocaine, or the coca plant, at least coca leaves. Those things are very, very strong. They're very, very potent. And they're not something that we ever need to be using on a regular basis, if at all. And yet, with pharmaceuticals, we don't seem to have the same mindset. People take benzos for most of their lives. People take antidepressants for most of their lives. There's never an end game for it. There's no real moving beyond the issue that you're dealing with because you're swallowing a pill the entire time in order to cope with it. With the herbs, it's a different story. We have plants that can help us come out of a stressed state, that can help repair our nervous system, that work in relation to our body. We have receptors in our bodies that are designed to accept these things. Pharmaceuticals will bind to a receptor that we already have because they were designed to bind to that receptor. It's a completely different experience. So when we're dealing with plants, we're using nature, the same nature that we're a part of, to deal with an issue that has arisen from being in that environment, which is again nature. So everything is contained at that point. When we start introducing outside items, outside foreign components, pharmaceuticals, we don't really know what's going to happen. Just reality. So as a species, we were built to eat plants. We were built to use plants as medicine. We were built to utilize mushrooms and other ethnobotanicals in order to take care of ourselves. And if you're a religious person and you read the Bible, then you know that the Bible says plants are going to be your medicine. I'm not a big Bible person myself. I know that there's a lot of people out there who are Christians and who have various beliefs. There's Jewish people, there's Muslims, there's all kinds of religious beliefs. Most of these religions talk about the fact that the plants were put here for us as humans as medicine. It doesn't say anything about pharmaceuticals. It doesn't say go down to your local chemist and have them whip up a batch of something for you to deal with whatever problem you're dealing with. That's not reasonable. It's not realistic, and it's not what life was designed to be. We were designed to utilize plants. We are a part of nature. Those plants are also a part of nature. We are connected to them through that, and they're designed for us to utilize because they actually affect our body systems the way our body systems were designed to be used. They were designed to function. So when it comes down to it, we were built to eat and ingest plants, natural products. I'm speaking in terms of herbs. I'm not necessarily talking about diet. I'm a meat eater. I'm a huge meat eater. But when it comes to medicine, plants are where I go. Plants, mushrooms, ethnobotanicals, anything that grows or is raised can be utilized for our benefit because our bodies know what to do with it. It's in line with how we were designed. It's what we were built to do. So I know this episode's kind of short. I've been feeling a bit of a way the last week or two. I might actually, the next episode I'm going to do is about some specific herbs, mostly in relation to stress and anxiety. Again, that's just because that's the topic I tend to find people need the most help with. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about how I handle stressful situations. The herbs, again, the herbs that I utilize, the ones that I tend to rely on the most, the ones that I've found over the years that seem to work the best for me, as well as the ones that I've witnessed seem to work the best for other people as well. So thanks for listening. Until next week, stay curious, stay disciplined, be yourself, because that's all you have. Have a great day.